What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, coming to you from the sunburn capital of the world. Yeah, that's right. I want to give you guys details of a new ban that President Biden is announcing here via a executive order here. I'll give you the details of that here in this video. Yeah, new major ban. Also, I'll give you the details here of top U.S. cyber officials offer stark warning of potential attacks on infrastructure if tensions with China escalate. Such tactics would be a stark change from cyber activity historically attributed to China, usually espionage and data theft, but they're saying not destructive attacks. I'm not sure of this because we have seen attacks in the past year from Russia and some from China on multiple government agencies, the military, and all sorts of things, US airports, databases, and such, which can affect literally you flying. Things like energy grids, where you can lose power or lose security concerns for whatever the power is protecting. The number of direct physical attacks on US power grids soared 77% last year to 163, a record high according to US Energy Department. Since last September, attacks were reported on 18 substations and one power plant, each in Florida, Oregon, Washington, and both of the Carolinas alone. And now we're seeing attacks on our own US military has been hacked multiple times. And this is only what they tell us. Don't forget that. Don't forget how much of this stuff is probably classified that we don't learn about. This is only what they've told us. US military officials have confirmed Chinese hackers have breached unclassified government emails by foiling Microsoft's security. How much of this stuff is classified that we don't know about? US hunts Chinese malware that could disrupt American military operations. Yeah. China's hackers have been positioning themselves to conduct destructive cyber attacks on US critical infrastructure, a top cyber official warned this week. Speaking at a panel at DEF CON Hacker Conference in Las Vegas, Jen Easterly, the director of the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, said, "I hope that people are taking seriously a pretty stark warning about the potential for China to use their very formidable capabilities in the event of a conflict in the Taiwan Straits to go after our critical infrastructure." I also just did a video about how you can be hacked via Bluetooth. I'll link to that video here in a minute or two. Such attacks would reflect a significant pivot from the type of cyber activity historically attributed to China or Russia, which has for years been largely consistent of a barrage of espionage and theft of data, but not destructive attacks designed to harm systems. Chinese officials, of course, have denied reports of state-sponsored hacking and says that China is itself a frequent victim of cyber attacks, alleging that the US is, quote, the champion of hacking. Yeah. In May, Microsoft warned that hackers affiliated with the Chinese government were targeting critical US infrastructure. And in its most recent annual threat assessment published in February, the National Intelligence Director's Office said that China is almost certainly is capable of launching cyber attacks that could disrupt critical infrastructure services within the United States against oil and gas pipelines and rail systems. Quote, China would almost certainly would consider undertaking aggressive cyber operations against U.S. homeland critical infrastructure and military assets worldwide if it believed conflict with the U.S. was imminent, the report said. And remember, China desperately wants to take over Taiwan. And this leads us to the new Biden announcement, the new ban and executive order that they have just announced. With eyes on Taiwan, new China ban shows the US may be learning lessons from mistakes with Russia. Let me know your thoughts on this because this is what they have just announced. US moves to ban certain investments in China suggests that Western allies may be learning from national security failings in Russia, analysts told CNBC. The White House just announced a ban on some US investments in China in sensitive technologies in the latest ratcheting up on Washington's disassociation with Beijing. The U.S. moves to de-risk from China with a new investment ban, suggesting that Western allies may be learning from national security failings in Russia, according to analysts. The White House just announced a ban on some U.S. investments in China in sensitive technologies such as computer chips, in the latest ratcheting up of Washington's disassociation with Beijing amid perceived national security risk. And a lot of people think that one of the main reasons why China wants to invade and take over Taiwan is because of their computer chip manufacturing plants. Analysts said the US was making such moves with an eye on rising tensions over Taiwan, given the potential fallout from conflict between China and Taiwan would be, quote, unimaginable. US President Joe Biden said that the executive order, which will come into effect next year, aims to ensure that China's military does not benefit from American technology and funding, particularly in sectors that counter United States and allied capabilities. Such moves have sometimes been referred to as a decoupling of the world's two largest economies, though the US has preferred the term de-risking. A lot of people say we need to manufacture more here in the US, but we right now do not manufacture nearly as enough as we need to. And the cost is a lot more here in the US. Beijing hit back at the announcement with the foreign ministry saying it was resolutely opposed to what it dubbed the US blatant economic coercion and technological bullying. China's ambassador to Washington had previously warned that Beijing would retaliate against such measures. But we also know that China is known for stealing ideas and blatantly ripping off IP and ideas and just copying them over in China without a single notion of caring, not having a single care in the world about ripping off other countries' ideas and patents in China. So for the U.S. to be cautious and do something about it, I think is a very good idea. Okay, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Honestly, I think we should have been doing more like this a long time ago, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Let me know your thoughts here. I'll keep you up to date with everything happening on a daily basis that you need to know about. So if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Click here to see how people are getting hacked personally by Bluetooth. Or you can click here to see how people were hacked, millions of people in the US, by their medical data and records at hospitals. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.